Have y'all seen the Reality Check, America's Next Top Model documentary that's now on Netflix? Yeah, I just watched it last night and I got a few things I want to say, okay? I got some commentary. So, starting off, this is for entertainment purposes only. I don't know any of these people, not interested in knowing any of these people. I'm just sharing my perspective as a viewer. So, let's get into it. America's Next Top Model premiered in, I believe, like 2003. At that time, I want to say, I was about like in the 6th grade at the time. Yeah, so I remember during that time, I was skinny. And, obviously I was pretty. And, I was inspired to be a model. Okay, at one point, after college, when I graduated, I was signed to an agency in the local area where I live. So, modeling and doing makeup and taking pictures and all of that has always been a part of my life. I've always loved that lifestyle. And so you can imagine what America's Next Top Model meant to me coming up. First of all, seeing Tyra Banks on the runway during the 90s was representation for me. Seeing her, Naomi Campbell, on the runway was representation. When she said that there wasn't a lot of black women on the runways, she wasn't lying. I don't remember seeing a whole lot of black women. There's a lot of black women now. There's a lot of diversity now. But it wasn't a lot back then. So, seeing her on the Victoria's Secret runways, in the magazines, all of that, that meant a lot to me as a little black girl. And then seeing America's Next Top Model come on the television meant a lot, because that let me know, and that let a lot of people know, that you can be a regular, everyday girl and end up on a magazine cover. That's what it told me. This can happen. This does not have to be some distant dream. You know what I'm saying? If it happened for them, it can happen for me. That's how I viewed it coming up. And so the first thing I want to talk about is I had no idea of the impact that show made on women's self-image and on their self-esteem. I had no idea, because again, I started watching this when I was like 12 years old. You know what I'm saying? I thought that you were supposed to be thin and a stick skinny on that show. I thought that was the norm. I never thought anything of it. I thought if you were that size, that was normal. But looking at that through the lens of an adult, through the lens of now a mother, that was some toxic stuff to portray on national television. Like, if you're not a stick, you're not qualified to do this job. That's crazy. Like, I remember, I think it was like episode 3, episode 2 or something. I think her name was Kina, and black girl. They would have her posing as gluttony, as the 7 deadly sins, posing as an elephant, basically insinuating that she is fat. And like, looking back at that footage, she was not fat. She's just human. And it's almost as if they did not want these girls to be human. You have the slightest pudge in your stomach, that's unacceptable. Like, do y'all want these girls to starve? Like, what is going on? Looking back now, I don't understand how that was acceptable to put on television and show to impressionable girls and teenagers. I just don't understand that. That's crazy to me. It really is. And it's like, we as women, we grow up with so many self-image issues as it is. I feel like there should have been like a disclaimer or something at the beginning of the show, letting like the teenagers and the children know, like, please don't take what you're seeing as the standard or something. Like, oh my gosh. And the thing is, that's literally just how it was in the early 2000s, in the 90s. This was the norm. This mindset of being a size 0 was the norm. And looking back, I cannot believe that we did not cancel that show as a collective after season 1. It's crazy to me. But let's move on. Let's move on to cycle 1. And the first thing I want to talk about is the colorism with Ebony. Ebony was a black girl on season 1, the only black girl, mind you. And she was on the documentary talking about her experience and how they had colorism. They were colorist against her. They were trying to paint her out to be angry and difficult to work with. And I cannot believe that Tyra did not defend her. You know, being a black girl herself and being in this industry and having the experience that she has herself in this industry, like, I can't believe she didn't protect her. And I also cannot believe that they didn't have more black girls on season 1. You know, seeing the fact that the show is being produced by a black woman, you would think you would want that representation in your show. That's wild to me. Very wild. Because at the beginning of episode 1 of this documentary, Tyra was talking about how it was so difficult for her to climb the ladder in this industry as a black woman. So if you know the difficulties, why wouldn't you give that opportunity to more black women? Why? I don't understand. I don't get it. It's like, even though you know it's not, but you're still saying that the standard of beauty still lies in and with white women. And that's not fair. It's not. Like, I feel like you should be able to see people who look like you and see beauty. Period. First season, well, the first cycle of America's Next Top Model should have had so much more diversity. They had one black woman, one Latino woman, and the rest were white. And that's mind-blowing. I cannot believe nobody caught that back then. Like, and we over here just eating it up. We just eating it up in 2003. It's crazy. I hate that Ebony was not better protected by the black executive producer. Like, I'm not shocked that she wasn't protected by her fellow castmates. That honestly does not shock me at all. It don't shock me. But for the black woman executive producer to fail to protect her, that blows me. That blows me. Seriously. I cannot believe that. But moving right along. Also, I feel like Ebony, like she said, she represented something that wasn't seen that much on television. For one, she's a black woman and she's a dark-skinned black woman. Let's get into how light-skinned versus dark-skinned black women are treated differently anyways. Period. I know it's cliche. I know a lot of people don't like to talk about it, but dark-skinned black women and light-skinned black women are treated differently. They're viewed differently. And Ebony, dark-skinned black woman, beautiful woman. Beautiful woman. And if there had to been representation on that cycle of black women, I'm so glad that it was a dark-skinned, bald-headed black woman. Somebody who society wouldn't automatically label as someone beautiful. But she represented the standard of beauty for black women in cycle 1. She kicked open the door. So for that, Ebony, thank you. Thank you for kicking open the door and letting the world know that dark skin, bald-headedness, blackness is beautiful. You don't have to have a head full of weave, a long flowing wig, and you don't have to have brown paper bag toned skin to be the standard of beauty. All shades of black is beautiful. And so if we had to have any kind of representation, cycle 1, I'm honestly happy it was her. It would have been wonderful if we had some more representation of blackness. But if we had to have any representation, I'm so thankful it was her. For the world to see. Not just the black community, but for the world to see. Get into it. Get into it. Moving right along. I want to talk about Danielle and her gap. That's something that stuck out to me. Because in this show, every season was known for their makeovers. You know, and to be a model, you're on a modeling show, you should kind of walk in having an idea that you're going to get some type of a makeover, okay? You might get a few inches chopped off. You might walk in a brunette, walk out a blonde, or walk in a blonde and walk out a brunette. You know, that should be understood, okay? But for you to literally be getting like cosmetic surgery almost, that's wild. Now for that other girl that got her dental work done, I mean, I'm sure she saw that as a miracle. Because in her real life, she probably would never be able to even afford to get that kind of dental work done. Okay, she'd probably still have her teeth in that shape to this day if it was left up to her and her bank account. Okay, so I'm sure she was all for it. But it's like you're saying that there's no beauty in the features that this girl was born with. You know what I'm saying? Like, that gap was given to her by God. And shouldn't the point of the show be that beauty isn't cookie cutter? Like Jay Manuel said, like they were trying to show the behind the scenes and change the industry. You're trying to change the industry for the better. So why not let her keep the gap? Because you're trying to change the industry. You're trying to change how the world view beauty. You're trying to change the standard of beauty, right? So what's wrong with her keeping the gap? I feel like with this show, it started off like the idea was to try to change things and to change things for the better. But once the camera started rolling, it's like they conformed. And again, like, you don't realize it until you get older, until you see it through a different lens. Because again, a lot of us were kids when we first watched these episodes. So it's like we were eating it up. We were eating it up. We didn't think nothing of it. But now looking back, it's like the whole thing was toxic. How did any of this get the green light? How? I'm sorry, if I was Danielle, if I was her, I would have walked away. Because what you're not going to tell me is that something I was born with, that I literally have to get a dental surgical procedure done to change and fix, is a problem. You're not going to tell me that. You know, I'll cut some hair. I'll get some hair colored. I'll get some extensions. I'll put a wig on. You know what I'm saying? Because hair can grow back. But changing facial features, dental features, that don't grow back in a matter of 6 weeks. That don't go back. Sorry, it don't. And then what if I don't win this? You having me make permanent changes to my body on a maybe. I need some type of guarantee that I'm walking away with something. If I make it to the point where I'm changing physical features about myself, I need some type of guarantee that I'm walking away with something. Even if I don't get signed to the main prize agency, I need to get signed to a local agency. Okay, like she's from Arkansas. I need to get signed to a local agency in Arkansas then, if that's the case. Okay. Now, thankfully, she won. Now, later on in the documentary, she revealed that she didn't have much to show for it, which also is crazy. How do you have these girls go through all of this just to have absolutely nothing to show for it? Every single, like, yeah, we've had a few winners of America's Next Top Model that has made a name for themselves. You know what I'm saying? But again, when you're watching this in real time, you don't think about what happens to these winners. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of these winners, they've won and we ain't never heard from them again. We don't see them on the cover of no magazines. We don't see them on no runways. We don't see them in no TV shows. We don't see them in no movies, no music videos, nothing. It's as if they just fall off the face of the earth. And you don't see it until you see it. And I didn't see that until last night when I watched this documentary. I'm like, you know what? What have happened to the dang contestants? That is crazy. What happened to these girls? What happened to them? You were just on this huge show. Because after cycle 1, the show blew up. And it just became a part of freaking American culture until the show eventually went off the air. So you're on this huge show produced by this huge supermodel, and you win it, and we never hear from you again. I'm sorry, but I would need to see like the winners of these cycles on some type of magazine, on some runways or something before I even consider wasting my time. Like, honestly. Come on. The fact that Danielle said that she didn't get no work as a result of winning this, and agencies did not want to work with her because she won? That's wild. So what's the point? What's the point of even being on the show? What is the point? Moving right along. Now I want to talk about Shandy. Lord, Shandy. Shandy was done wrong. That whole situation, and I'm just going to call it like the SA, because I just feel like it's SA. If there's no consent, it was SA, period. Point blank, period. The fact that she was put in that compromising position on camera, mind you. Shandy a good one. Shandy's a good one. I would have went home. I wouldn't have wanted anything else to do with that show. Shandy's a good one. She better than me. Because I couldn't have done it. I couldn't have done it. And I just feel like they exploited her. Not only are y'all filming her in this very vulnerable act, but y'all filming her having to call her boyfriend and tell her boyfriend what happened. So everything that should have been a very private matter that the world should have never known about is now plastered on national television. I just want to know, in what universe did they think this was a good idea? I want to know, in what universe did the producers of this show think this was a good idea? And it just goes to show just how little women was protected in the 90s and in the early 2000s. It's sad that people are just now getting a mindset to want to protect women in this day and time. That's crazy. It's crazy. And that's why women, we got to stick together. We got to protect each other, because the rest of the world won't. If we don't protect each other, who will? Who will? And it's like, you got these girls are what, 18, 19, 20 years old. And you're putting them in these compromising positions. And you're filming it on the count of good TV. My heart breaks for her. And I'm so glad that at the very least she got to be vindicated, to share her story, to share her experience. And I know Tyra teased coming back for America's Next Top Model. But honestly, after seeing this documentary, I don't know who in their right mind would even waste their time with it. Now that you see how you're not protected, you're exploited, you're put in dangerous situations when it comes to your health. You know what I'm saying? And if you do win, you have little to nothing to show for it. Like, why would you even want to waste your time? Like, why? And well, moving right along, last thing I want to talk about is the fact that I feel like the three men that really made the show what it is and what it was, the fact that they all got fired. I thought that they just quit. But the fact that they all got fired makes me really sad. And the fact that Jay Manuel, he wanted to leave on his own terms, bro. That he wanted to leave. They should have let that man leave on his own terms when he wanted to leave. But the fact that they kept him on until they thought that he was no longer any use to them, that's foul, dude. That's foul. That's foul. Like, imagine you wanting to leave a job on your own terms, and the job refuses to let you go, and then just get rid of you when they get good and ready. And I hate what happened to Miss J, because like when I saw that clip of him saying like, I taught people how to walk, now I can't walk, that almost brought tears to my eyes. Because that's true. That's literally your career. It's like, what do you do now? You know, that is so sad. I really hope he gets in rehab, if he's not already in rehab, and he starts strengthening his legs so that he can walk. I want to see Miss J walk again, and I hate the fact that the world didn't know that he had a stroke. I hate that for him, but I pray God's healing over his body, from the top of his head to the sole of his feet to the tips of his toes. I pray healing over him so that he is back walking. Yes, ma'am. In Jesus' name. I truly do pray that for him. And Nigel, I love Nigel. He was always so unproblematic. He just was a breath of fresh air on the show. And, you know, it was good to see them on the screen. And, you know, Tyra, she's living in Australia. She's doing her ice cream thing, you know, and she eventually got fired. And I feel like, you know what, at the end of the day, you reap what you sow. That's all I have to say on that. You reap what you sow. So, but hey, I'm happy that she's, you know, pivoting. She's doing her ice cream thing in Australia. And, you know, she seemed to be straight. But yeah, y'all, that is my my commentary on Reality Check, the America's Next Top Model documentary that is on Netflix. Please give it a watch. If you grew up watching America's Next Top Model, you might want to watch this documentary. You know, it's going to be an eye-opener. It's going to make you sad. It's going to make you disappointed. But yeah, I definitely believe you should watch it. And it makes you look at the industry differently. It really does. It really does. So, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please leave your commentary on my commentary down below. And remember that everything said in this video is just strictly my opinion and my perspective as a viewer. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. And I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.